doing on this beautiful Friday? This is another episode of notable inmates and notable prisons and inmates that occupy these prisons. You feel me? Let me know in the comments section where y'all watching from. Give me some good feedback. Smack that subscribe button, like, all that. Today we gonna take a trip down south, or would you say back east if you want to be technical? I think it's down south. Anyways, we about to go tap in with that FCI Miami. You feel me? The federal correctional institution in Miami. It's a low and minimum security level, but it's still the feds in Miami. So let me oh, I can't not believe I forgot this, people. Get your lighters ready. It's gonna be a good one. But anyways, let me tell y'all a little something about that FCI Miami. A significant portion of inmates held there have been convicted in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. That means some federal shit. That means some federal shit. Um, in 1976, FCI Miami served as a center for youth offenders, which explains its campus-like architecture and the presence of a lake in the middle of its compound. In fact, it's the only BOP facility with such a landscape feature. In the late 70s, and in response to the Haitian and Cuban immigration patterns, the facility changed missions and became an immigration detention center. It is estimated that between 1977 and 1981 ish, more than 70,000 Haitians, possibly up to 200,000, and as many as 125,000 Cubans migrated to South Florida, with many of them being detained at the facility until their legal status was clarified. So, this is the place in Scarface that were all the refugees and like people from all these other places went. But here's a fun fact about Scarface. That location was actually filmed, can you guess where? In Los Angeles, big LA vibes. You know what I'm saying? We got a piece of Scarface history out here in California. And I think that mansion's in California somewhere too. I'm thinking about buying it in a couple months. Yeah. Anyways, they migrated to South Florida, with many of them being detained at the facility under their legal status until their legal status was clarified. The facility did not have nearly enough capacity to hold even a significant portion of the refugees. So the Bureau of Prisons, with the assistance of the military and other federal agencies, created detention camps inside and outside of Florida to house them. So, in the 1980s, in response to the drug war that gripped Miami, the facility changed missions and became an administrative detention center for the Bureau of Prisons, housing many of those suspected of participating in the drug wars. With the new mission came a new name, and the facility became known as the Metropolitan Correctional Center, Miami, MCC Miami. The vast majority of those individuals charged would eventually be found guilty of participating in illicit drug trade, at which time they would be transferred to another federal facility to serve their sentence. You dig? You dig? Yeah. Another little. Let me give you another little dose of this MCI Miami. I bet you didn't know back in 1986 the FBI thwarted a daring escape plan by two inmates at MCC Miami, Gary Wayne Betzner and Terry Jackson Brasino, planned to be in the recreation area of their housing unit when a helicopter would fly overhead, drop a rope ladder, and help them escape. Instead, once the helicopter flew over them, they spotted three FBI agents in the helicopter and several others on the ground. So in 1989, and then in 1989, um, another inmate, Benjamin Berry, he attempted to escape by helicopter as well. Once again, this attempt failed when the helicopter struck a recreational fence and crashed. And then, on October 24th, 1992, Miami was struck by Hurricane Andrew, effectively rendering and operating it for a year. The BOP's minimum security facility, the camp, which had been located in the Homestead, Florida, and also destroyed by Hurricane Andrew, was transferred to MCC Miami's extensive grounds during that year in 1993. Both facilities were reopened, player. So, now that I done my little spiel of talking over here, let's get into the exciting parts of the show. Okay. First up, we have Manuel Noriega. I know Noriega, the real Noriega. He gave me 100 favors. I bet y'all don't know what song that's from. If you do, drop it in the comments. You dig? Anyways, he's a former dictator of Panama, convicted of drug trafficking, racketeering, money laundering, and turning Panama into a transshipment point for the Colombian traffickers smuggling that Tony Montana into the United States. So, this guy right here was one hell of a middleman, is what it sounds like to me, people. But let me tell you a little bit something about his sentence. He served 20 years, right? He got sentenced in like 1990 to do 20 years. Okay, whatever. But after he did do 20 years in 2010, they extradited his ass to France to face money laundering charges. Sheesh. I know it's a hot summer. Actually, it's probably not that hot in France, huh? Anyone from over there? Does it get hot across the ocean, like in other countries? Because right now, today in California, it's like 111 in Southern California. You know, the part where I'm at. Damn, I just gave y'all like so much information. It's all good. Next up, we have old Billy Bill Campbell, huh? He was the mayor of Atlanta from 94 to 2002. And he was convicted of tax evasion in 2006 for failing to report over 160 bandicas, 160,000, in income on 3 tax returns. Look at this guy over here. He made his money and he was planning on keeping it. That sounds like a great idea to me. But, you know, to Uncle Sam, it's like, nah, player. Nah. You want to make your money and keep it, get it and keep it in a damn shoebox, okay? Okay. Next up, we have Mr. Backstreet Boy, Louis Pearlman. So, he's a former impresario for the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. He pled guilty in 2008 to orchestrating a Ponzi scheme, which caused investors and banks who invested to lose $300 million. His story was featured on CNBC television program. So basically, what he did, y'all, dude was an opportunist, okay? And he's seen NSYNC and Backstreet Boys way before we knew who they were. And, you know, he got people to put up money for him. He put up money. And, you know, they was doing this, that, and the third. Now, the problem with that was they might go do a show or something, and the Backstreet Boys might get, or NSYNC, they might get paid out, let's say, for all of them. They might make, I don't know, I'm throwing numbers out there, $500K, right? But this clever, scamming, crafty motherfucker was doing, he would, out of that $500K, he pretty much would take like 400 of it and let them split the 100 because he knew this is their first time seeing some money. So they was going to be happy. Rather, they got 5,000, 10,000, 25,000. But little did they know, Lou Scummy Pearlman, he was really keeping a bag. He ain't the scummiest person because he doesn't really have no crazy charges like that. He's more of like a scammer. So I don't put him in the scummy category. I just put him in the you can't trust his ass category. You know what I mean? He goes with Bernie Madoff and all them. But yeah, dude died in 2016 while serving a 25-year sentence. Next up, we have Mark Myrie. He was a reggae artist known as Buju Banton. I've heard of this guy before. Buju Banton. I can't name one of his songs, but I've heard that name. And he was convicted in 2011 of conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute narcotics for arranging the purchase of 5 kilos of powder in 2009. Look at him, old reggae singing trapper. Okay, player. I see you. But anyways, He served a 10-year sentence, and he was released in 2018. Look at you, Buju Banton. I'm going to look up some of your music today. Will I crack open a cold one? I hope y'all crack open a cold one, too. And when you do, get that lighter ready at the same time. Next up, we have Milton Balk. He was a rabbi and former dean of the Bayes Yaakov School, and he was convicted in 2010 of extortion and blackmail for threatening to fabricate an insider trading scheme at the SAC Capital Advisors unless he was paid $4 million. Damn. So dude was really trying to scam some shit, and he only did 4 years in prison. So if he would have made that $4 million, he would have basically paid himself $1 million a year for being in prison, and he would have came out and he would have been rich, and he probably would have put it on Wall Street and started trading cryptocurrency and shit. Any of y'all into that? If you are, let me know some in the comments. Next up, we have Sanjay Kumar. He's the former CEO of the software company California Technologies, right? He pled guilty in 2006, my graduation year, to security fraud for orchestrating, get this, $2.2 billion of accounting fraud at the company. $2.2 billion. This dude was trying to go buy a fucking island or something, or a whole state or a city, is what he was probably trying to do. His initial sentence to 12 years in 2007 that's what he got sentenced, and then he was released January 25th, 2017. So Sanjay Kumar, you are a free player, man. You out there. You out here in these streets, Next up, we have Michael Conan. He's a former Luzerne County, Pennsylvania juvenile court judge involved in the kids for... Okay, get your lighter. I read that far into it, and I could already tell he's a scummy person. But anyways, he was involved in the Kids for Cash scandal, convicted of racketeering in 2011 of taking money from the developer of two for-profit prisons in return for sentencing juveniles to serve time in those prisons. You already know. Anything that involves children, even this, Michael Conan is scummy. So now you're taking away these kids' golden years. Their golden years, and you're putting them behind them walls for your own financial gain. You old greedy son of a beep. But he's serving a 17-year sentence, scheduled for release in 2026. It's kind of ironic how he takes these children and they put them in juvenile halls. You know, you turn an adult when you're 18. So pretty much that's what the judge did to him. For 17 years, you're locked up. Not 18 because you would be an adult, but we're going to keep you for 17. I don't know. It's just some logic I have. I could be wrong. More than likely I am wrong, but damn it, it sounds right to me. But you know what else sounds right to me? Me thanking y'all for making it this far. I appreciate y'all for watching. Drop some comments and the feedback. You know I tap back in with all y'all. All my peoples, all my folks, all my La Familia. And thanks for watching. Later, player. Enjoy y'all's Friday.